how does it all line up? They look like they're going to do the rematch. We had Turkey on TV saying basically as much.
As soon as the fight ended, he said
he wanted to do it. Both guys seem like they want to do it as well. BC, my question is this. Where do David Benavidez and David Morrell, who are also at 175, there's no real belt on the line with this one. They're unifying some secondary belts, essentially, and some interim belts. So where does that put them? And also, Canelo wanted Bivol if he emerged victorious from this. Well, now he's got no belts. Where does this leave Canelo, Benavidez, and Morrell?
I think because Turkey badly wants this rematch. Turkey, like I said, was caught on camera saying to Bivol, like, I think you won. Or not caught on camera. He said it right in the interview afterwards. He thought Bivol won by 2 rounds, but he loves both guys. He'd love to see it again. Look, that's the guy who's writing the checks. I like the humble nature of both warriors afterwards. I thought Bivol did a great job being as humble as possible, but also reiterating what he wants, the second chance here. So look, maybe Benavidez versus Morrell in that regard produces obviously a proven first crack at the undisputed championship in terms of the next big fight for that champion, whoever comes out of that rematch. Canelo's obviously the wild card because, Luke, I got to ask you, what if Bivol comes back and wins a competitive decision here? Canelo's going to want to enter that sweepstakes probably to get his chance at the 4 belts.
Yeah,
but
I have less than 0 interest.
I don't have less than 0. No, I don't. I have more than less than 0. But maybe, do you think maybe that's the catnip that does get us Benavidez-Canelo, but we'll get it at 175? Or you don't really care?
I don't think Canelo is any way interested in fighting the appropriate tough fights.
He's not going to fight back. People think that Beterbiev somehow didn't look great, and now Canelo can beat him.
would fucking put a beating on him.
Yes, he would. And then Bivol, too, again in the rematch,
Yes,
believe.
I mean, I didn't see anything from Bivol that told me that a fight with Canelo would go differently. In fact, it looked to me like, oh, right, he would do that again. Bivol's fucking great.
So would you get fired up at Benavidez Morrell winner facing the winner of a rematch for here?
I would love that. And I don't know. I mean, think about it. If Beterbiev wins again and Benavidez wins again, you actually like that fight a little bit more. Because if it was Morrell versus Beterbiev, one, I don't think Morrell is really up for the challenge. But it's a style contrast where one Slickster's going to be on the outside and Bivol's going to be center. Benavidez wants to do the exact same thing. I mean, they're different styles, but at the core, they both want to march the other guy down. Well, someone's going to have to give that up in that fight. I would fucking love to see who comes out on top there.
That's probably the best iteration, but don't discount if Bivol wins in a rematch with Beterbiev, how good a fight with him and Benavidez can be. And this standpoint, Benavidez claims and everyone else that was there when they sparred that time that Benavidez was putting it on him. So you got to take that with a grain of salt, however you feel. But I've seen multiple interviews where Benavidez doesn't brag about it, but he's like, yeah, I was fucking giving it to him. What do you think about that?
I think sparring is one thing, fighting is another, but it certainly makes me intrigued to want to see that. I mean, there's no iteration of that I would turn down. Even if it's Bivol Morrell, I would take that. I mean, all the combinations work. I'm just simply saying the one that's the most rugged is a Beterbiev versus Benavidez. Holy shit, man.
Shouldn't we
we got to move on.
Okay, but shouldn't we at least give Canelo the respect and say the loss to Bivol came during that stretch when his left arm was injured and he didn't get surgery on it and he couldn't give his all in training camp? I'm not saying that as an excuse because he made the decision to cash those checks and go in with those fights, and most of those he won. It was just during that stretch where we thought he was getting older.
Do you really think he'd win more rounds in a rematch?
I'm just saying, should we give him...
Do you think he'd win more rounds in a rematch?
Than he did the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think he'd win more rounds in a rematch.
I don't. I think it'd be about the same. I think it'd be about the same.
All right. We'll see, because money talks, Luke.
It does talk. That is true. Very true. All right.